Well, good morning, and I guess almost good afternoon. If you're watching from Georgia, I guess good afternoon,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Why not?
All right, Michael and Israel here for yet another Tech Tuesday. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm just finishing off getting everything set up. If you wouldn't mind, I really appreciate a quick hitting the share button. And if you are watching in one of the groups that this is a shared post, don't comment on the shared post. Go into our Bucks Island post and comment there. That way we can actually see the comments and get them pulled in. So hopefully that makes sense. But how are you guys doing? Um, all right,
There's Mr. Timmy.
Tim Taylor. So we will. Good morning. Good morning. You are always welcome. So I got one question queued up from an earlier post on Facebook. Otherwise, I may just troll through the Yamaha owners group or somewhere else, and maybe the Skeeter group. But guys, if you've got a tech question, go ahead and get that in the comments, and we will get to those in just a second. Um, all right, so you're staying busy
Yes.
in the service department.
Yeah.
Um,
Always.
Tons and tons of boats. I know we're getting pretty much every weekend now. Folks stopping by, asking about how much all those used boats are, and they're pointing to the service lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Technically, I guess a lot of them are pointing to the sales lot because they're backed all the way up to the gate.
that is true. So I know you guys are doing the best you can, getting the purchase boats out of here as well. Um, I guess I'd throw out there if you want to sell your boat and it's sitting here for service, give us a call because we might be there. Everything inventory wise, getting products, pieces, parts. It seems pretty consistent that it's slower for sure.
Yeah.
Some are able to get us stuff, some aren't, and obviously we're stocked up a little bit more on some things than not others.
Yeah.
So you've been pretty easily able to get parts for repairs and stuff like that.
For the most part, there's some things that we're having delays on still.
Okay. Well, that seems to be the name of the game for 2020, 2021.
I'm just happy we have some props. Last year we ran into a prop shortage.
Yeah, do we have any 25 pitch props?
Probably. Yeah.
Um,
We don't have any shows. 25 pitch shows. We're waiting on those.
all right. Well,
got some FXPs.
yeah. So shows. I noticed, and I apologize. It was my fault. I had some technical issues and some scheduling issues last week, so we weren't on. But the new Yamaha show promo teaser video. What thoughts?
I mean, it's. I guess just put a different dress on it.
Okay.
And a better charging system. That's what I've gotten out of it so far.
Well, you think that's going to help out with?
I think it'll help out with all these graphs and stuff. People having, and there's obviously a reason they did it because there's probably may have been some complaints about not charging the battery up quickly enough.
Okay.
So, and the only reason they went to a smaller charging system on this engine to begin with is because they wanted to lighten the motor, and as far as the trying to get a four-stroke, because typically four-stroke is going to weigh more because they've got heavier components. So they put a light and charging system on there to help with that, as well as anodizing the block and different things as well, cutting that, trimming the fat on, different brackets and stuff. So I think they've found that they can live with a few more pounds in making the charging system a little bit better. So,
well, do you think they're hedging the bet that more and more guys are going to swap to lithiums and remove a little bit more weight off the back of the boat, or I think they're thinking that far ahead?
No, I don't think they're worried about that.
Okay.
I think they're more concerned about people actually getting, when they're doing 2 mile runs, being able to actually get a little bit more juice in the battery. Because one of the biggest complaints right now is I've got 4 graphs and a 360 Panoptics, and I'm running out of steam about 12, 1 o'clock. So,
All right.
and these guys, most of those guys, they'll either sit and hit a spot for a long period of time and the motor doesn't charge, or they're jumping, you know, from spot to spot, you know, less than a mile or less at a time.
Okay.
And they probably still have that problem if they're those kind of guys. You know, if you're not running at least, you know, 5, 6 minutes, you're not going to get much of a charge on your battery.
So who out there has seen the new show video? Pretty cool looking cowling. Um, and we've already been getting some folks asking for availability. Uh, how long do you think it's going to take before those motors are actually available for purchase?
Well, we can't even get a motor until probably November, and I don't know if that's the reason why. They don't want any of the older stuff getting out, or they've sold it all, or it's import. I don't know, but we've been told anywhere from September to November before we can get any more motors. So at least that.
So
and all the manufacturers going to see them first anyway.
Yeah. So I had a customer ask Saturday. So can I get a Falcon with the new show on the back of it? And my response was, my gut tells me yes, but it'll probably be at least 6 months before we even have a remote opportunity.
And what's going to be bad is when we get two boats, like a guy ordered a boat and it's not here until another guy ordered his boat, and they both show up, and one's going to have the newer style, one's going to have the older, and he's going to have a hissy fit over it. You never know.
Those dang marketing guys. Quit putting videos on the internet and
I
getting everybody fired up.
I want a new Calvin.
All right, let's jump into some questions here. Tommy, battery question. Can I leave my batteries flooded and AGM in my boat over the winter if I keep a charger maintainer on them?
You can. I mean, what really hurts batteries is the change in temperatures. So when they get hot, they expand, and when it gets cold outside, it contracts. So doing that over and over again can actually, let particles fall off the plates in there, and it can do damage to it. So I would say the best case scenario is if you have a basement or a garage that's climate controlled, it's not going to be that big a deal. But I would definitely keep it on a charger. If the best case scenario is to take them out and put them in a controlled environment if you can.
Gotcha.
And I've seen my dad does that, and he's got on the little boat I gave him, and it seems to, the batteries seem to last a long time. Same thing with graphs. He always takes his graphs off, puts them. He's got a sock drawer he puts his graphs in, and he's still got a 520 from 10 years ago, and it's still kicking strong. So.
Keeping it in the sock drawer. All right. Well, I don't know. Some of these you get Helix 15s, you're gonna have to have a pretty big sock drawer.
Hey, you make room for what counts.
Yeah, get rid of the socks. Wear sandals. All right. Timmy asking about the new show. Hopefully, we kind of covered most of what your question was in regards to.
And I've seen some people, they like the old Callan stuff better, and some like the new ones. So the biggest difference is going to be the charging systems. As far as I know, they hadn't said I doubt it's any faster or any slower.
All right. Before I get on to the next one, I've got one question that James Rigby posted on our Facebook page on the earlier post. How complicated will it be to hook up my 2005 VMAX Yamaha on my Stratus FS to a new Garmin with a NEMA connection?
Let's see. Well, I guess it depends on the VMAX. So if it's an HPDI, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. I know you have to have some kind of breakout box. It's like a little adapter.
Okay.
And then a network starter kit, and you should be able to read information off of it. I haven't messed with the Garmin stuff too much. I've just finally figured out, the Helix, getting it to read data on the depth finder. So they made that one a little more difficult than it needed to be. But the Solixes, You just basically have to have the Yamaha cable and a network starter kit, and it'll plug right in and read data.
Okay.
The Lowrance's network starter kit, data cable, and then a Helix, you have to have a little an adapter to make it read, and then the Garmin's have to have an adapter to make them read.
All right. Well, we'll see. Certainly seems we're seeing more and more Garmin, but mostly what Panoptics for most of those. So
a lot of people are doing like a Helix and a Panoptic, so you can do one or the other as far as reading data. But most people are running the Garmin up front, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, no sense in connecting that to the big motor. Right. All right, Eric. If my motor continues to make oil, do I need to keep changing the oil till the ring seat, then go with the interval schedule?
I would. I mean, it depends on how much oil it's making. If it's making a ton of oil, then it needs to be changed, and we need to figure out why it's doing that. There could be a sensor reading off. It may be a break-in issue, but I've seen, and it hadn't happened here, but I had somebody repower to a Ranger one time, and they have a sensor that would read a gauge for temperature.
Okay.
On that block on the old HPDIs, and I don't know how they hooked it up, but they ended up taking the wire off that old motor and splicing it into the coolant temperature sensor on the engine.
Okay.
And it made it think it threw things off so much that it thought it was like running 40 degrees all the time. So it was just dumping fuel and making oil. So sometimes there's little weird things that happen. But there could be a thermostat stuck open and overcooling the engine. It being a new engine, I doubt that's the case, but I would definitely keep an eye on it. And if you may have to, do a decarbonate or run the engine just super hard for a long period of time, and sometimes that'll make it stop.
So after that 20-hour service, probably not worth changing the oil if it's making oil. Like start figuring out what.
Yeah, well,
what would be the next step for you?
Yeah,
if
it continues after the 20-hour, like I said, depends. It's going to make it at least 10%. And if you're doing a lot of idling, if you're a guy that likes to get on that graph and idle around for an hour, you're gonna make oil. If you're a guy that likes to jump from spot to spot without warming the engine up, is gonna make oil. So if the engine temperature is below 113 degrees. Every time you stomp out gas, it is just giving it all it can take of gas, and what it is the excess gas is going to go past the rings because it's pretty thin.
Gotcha.
And it's going to make oil. So just make sure the engine's warm, and if you're a spot fisherman or what I call a power fisherman, and you're fishing here for a minute or two and then jumping across the stream, minute or two. Ease into that gas and get it up on plane instead of stomping it every time.
All right. Well, hopefully that helps you. All right. Rick, great service department.
Well, thank you, sir.
Kudos. Cody, best service department in the state.
He used to work here.
It's not. You're just going to give us the state. You're not going to say like the region. I mean. I don't know, the universe. I mean, we might as well.
I'll take what I can get.
Cody, hope you're doing all right, man. Miss you.
He's sitting in a truck right now.
Yeah. There's a wave. Thumbs up from Eric. All right, awesome. Well, keep an eye on it. Sounds like you got to figure out kind of what is your normal for the motor. All right, let me, guys, if y'all got more questions, I'm going to open up the Skeeter Owners Group, and I'm going to go in there and see if I can find a question. Since I don't feel like we've been going for all that long. Surely you guys have more questions. I mean, it's about to get warm. I can't wait for, I'm ready. I'm sick of the cold weather. I know some folks are digging it.
Yeah, some people like it.
But I'm I'm ready for it to come and stay and be done. This start at 35 in the morning and be 85 in the afternoon. I guess it's that's a truck question.
I know him. I think. No, I don't know him. Never mind. I take it back. Look like somebody in there. There's a break-in question.
Yeah. Tips for breaking in a new FXR 20.
They just need to go to our.
They can go to our website and download our checklist under the service section. So if you got questions on breaking in a new show, Timmy, just service the boat humming like a finely tuned, well-oiled, fast machine it is.
Yes. I put some special oil on top of the motor.
It looked like you had some fun doing some dock fishing, Timmy. I was seeing some fish catches on.
Hey, I caught 2 fish yesterday.
You?
I did.
You had trouble shooting a boat?
No, it was the end of the day, and everybody ran out back with their fishing poles, and I just happened to have a fishing pole with me.
All right.
And so I run out there with them, and we said, we had this little mini on the bank tournament. No bets, but I won. I caught 2 fish. So about 1.5 pound fish, and I think the other one was about 8 ounces. I'll take it.
Man, there's not. I'm scrolling through the Skeeter owners group.
You should go back up to the one where the guy's running a Roomba on top of his boat, and then share that.
Yeah, I can't share that.
You can't share it.
I'm not that fancy yet. I'm sorry, guys. I can't share video off of.
Well, pick your laptop and just show it to them. You just do it redneck style, right?
Well,
it's pretty impressive.
All right, so for you guys, even if you're not in the skiers, that there's a guy using a Roomba, so it's vacuuming up his carpet on the front deck of his boat. Hey,
leave it to your imagination.
I mean, you gotta take care of your baby, right? Yeah. All right, well, I guess we're gonna make this a short one. You guys come up with some more. Oh, did I see? Am I missing?
I don't know if you can call went fishing because it was literally like 30 feet from the back of the building. But I did catch a fish.
Yeah. So, I probably, Timmy, don't try to bring your boat back up in here to catch the same fish.
Not where I caught it.
And especially with the way the water is right now.
With Broughton Springs back here, it's literally 3 inches. And where I caught the fish, there's like a little dip in the water, and there's some fish in there.
I will say.
And technically, I'm pretty sure they're trapped in there because the only thing they had to eat is what I threw in there. They've been trapped in there for.
What'd you catch them on?
It was a green pumpkin jig.
Okay.
With this little flappy tail on the back.
All right.
I swim in it too, so if that helps y'all.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, from what I hear, it's been a tough bite out there.
And I never said I couldn't fish. I just don't fish. No.
Best way to integrate twin Yamaha F-150s with Simrad EVO3. That must be a saltwater guy from the Yamaha group, I'm guessing.
Well, I can give you the short answer to that. This Yamaha has, and I guess it depends on what year they are, but they have ways to integrate those 2 motors together with some networking stuff, and then it would go from there to the Simrad.
Okay.
Through the NEMA system. And it should be pretty plug and play if you have that system for the Yamaha set up. So it's not, and Simrad is, as long as everything is connected correctly, it usually plug and plays pretty well. I actually have a guy that bought a pontoon from us a couple weeks ago, came in and wanted to know when I could install radar on top of his pontoon.
Hey.
For the Coosa River here.
Let's do it.
I said, are you looking for weather or objects? He's like, objects. I was like, okay, because you're probably not going to be able to get any weather with the mountains here. So
it wouldn't go very far.
Mm-hmm. High trees.
And if you got far enough out in the water, and depends on how high up that radar looks. But
and I thought that'd be my first radar install. I hadn't done one because nobody.
Man.
wants to spend $3 grand on a radar.
$3 grand on a radar.
Because that's, I mean, just the
You know,
module.
remarkably cheap with what you can do with the radars. So, I actually worked with was involved with a project. They took I think it was Raytheon off the shelf regular radars, and they built a thing to track birds with.
Yeah.
They had to get in, and they had it set so you could actually, they changed it. You could actually, we were tracking dragonflies flying around the airfield, and they had to recalibrate it because we didn't want to know where all the dragonflies were. But it's amazing.
What do y'all call false readings on there? I'm sure you got a word for it. A blip.
Well, a blip and a well, that was an interesting project. That was we were trying to track birds around an airfield. So,
to
all right,
keep from getting damaged.
Yes, actually,
damaged turbines. Forward object damage.
FOD. Yep. Oh, nice. Well, so it was BASH, Bird Air Strike Hazard. But
okay.
We won't. Should I keep my charger plugged in, even if it's 2 weeks before I use it?
I would. There are some people out there that, and I'm not saying it's bad. To me, it would help you more to do that than to plug it in the night before, because, like I said, the change in temperatures are gonna change your battery levels, and actually it can make one go dead over time, especially if there's dew and stuff and a lot of particles on top of your battery. A lot of people think if you sit your battery on concrete, it makes it go dead, which is technically not the case. Most of the time when a battery's sitting in somebody's garage on the concrete, it's all the particles, the dust and grindings and stuff that sit on top of the battery. It actually makes a small connection, and you're bleeding voltage. You know, it's like having a resistor on there. It'll eventually bleed the voltage all the way down to nothing. So if you clean the top of your batteries, get the mildew and the grime off the top of it, it'll actually keep them from discharging over 2 weeks period of time. So, but keeping them plugged in will also keep those particles from making your battery go completely dead.
Okay.
And remember, all these fancy chargers, if it gets below probably 10 volts or something like that, you plug that charger in, it's not going to charge your battery. It's got a safety function on it, for whatever reason. If it gets below a certain voltage, it will not charge. So you have to get a manual charger and charge it back up, and then you can plug it back in.
All right. Well, good to know. I hadn't thought about the battery sitting on the concrete like that. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it. I think it's lunchtime.
It is 27 minutes. So that's good.
Guys, thank you so much as always. And if you're watching this after the fact, hope you can catch us live one of these days and get your question in there. If you do have more questions, drop them in. Either we'll try and figure out how to get you an answer in the next week, or we'll save it for next week's Tech Tuesday. But guys, as we've been saying for a while now, boat inventory, parts inventory is tough. So the easiest thing, I'm trying to make it easy to find stuff on the website. But the easiest thing is you got to give us a call and let us actually dig in and see what, because there's really, I hate to give even rough numbers on when things will be in and be available until we can actually really talk with our manufacturers. I know I'm hearing the same thing from the kayak world to the big boat world to motors to electronics. So even the tackle stuff. So
got one more question here.
Oh. Did I talk long enough?
Yeah, you did.
Good.
So, Mr. Williams, I would say, somewhere around 6,000 RPMs, 59, 6, 6,100 would be fine. Water pressure on that motor is probably going to be anywhere from, 15 to 20. If you're getting 20, doing good. If you're getting 18, it's fine. 15 is okay as well. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it. Hey, May 1st, Fish Fest. We're working on getting all the details put together, but it looks like with COVID winding down and vaccine getting out there, if everybody's comfortable getting together in person, of course, we'll look at being able to live stream some of the seminars and stuff like that as well. But that's going to be a fun one, May 1st. It's the weekend before the Bassmaster Elite tournament, so hopefully we'll have a lot of pros in town that can jump over and share some knowledge. So, guys, thank y'all so much. We will see you next week.
There you go.